Good morning students, welcome to our class Biological Science. Dear students, in the previous class we have already started our lesson reproduction in the female reproductive system. How the reproduction takes place in the females. What is the system that present in it? So, in the female reproductive system, we have already discussed that a pair of ovaries, a pair of fallopian tubes, which is also called as oviducts, uterus, vagina, and cervix are present, and mammary glands also one of the part we already discussed about it. After here, in this section, we are going to discuss about after reaching the embryo into the uterus, the certain cells of this uterus develops into different layers. What are that layers? The first one is chorion. What is that? Chorion. And another one is placenta. Third one is amnion. Fourth one is allantois. Yolk sac. Here umbilical cord also present. So these are the parts that develop from this embryo. Listen carefully. When the ovum travels through this oviduct, if the fertilization takes place, the ovum finally shrinks in the soft tissues of the uterine wall. Once it sinking, once it's sinking, it has the strong bond within this uterine walls. The certain layers are developed. Chorion, placenta, amnion, allantois, umbilical cord, yolk sac. I will explain one by one about it. The first one is chorion layer. Okay now. When the zygote is developing in the uterine, a small finger-like projections develops from the surface of these membranes, embryo membranes. A finger-like projections develops from the outer membrane of this surface of the outer membrane of this embryo. Okay, which is called chorion. Do you understand this? When the zygote is developed, when the cell division of zygote takes place in the uterine, that means uterus, finger-like projections arise from the surface of the outer membrane of the embryo. Surface of the outer membrane of embryo into the soft tissues of the uterus. Finger-like projections. Okay. The finger-like from the outer surface, the finger-like projections arise from the surface of the outer membrane of the embryo into the soft tissues of uterine. Okay. Next, gradually a small pools of rapidly moving blood. A small pools of rapidly moving blood around this is appeared. Okay, a pool of blood. Gradually, a small pool of rapidly moving blood around these tissues is developed. Do you understand that? Developed. And then what has happened? The chorion, it has the film connection with the uterine wall. Okay, now where does the chorion develops? The chorion develops from the outer surface of the outer membranes, which looks like finger-like projections. Okay, in your textbooks that explanation is there. The finger-like projections arise from the surface of the outer membrane of the embryo into the soft tissues of the uterine wall, and gradually small pools of rapidly moving blood appears to us. Okay, which supplies the nutrients and different types of gases to these developing embryo. The chorion is very important for the development of the embryo. Okay, now it supplies nourishment and also involves in the disposal of the waste. Okay. The next layer is placenta. The second layer is placenta. Placenta is very important membranous structure. The placenta is developed from the cells of the embryo and the uterus. That means from the mother. From the cells of the embryo and mother. You understand? In your textbook it is there, you can follow it. The placenta is developed from the cells of the embryo and the mother. It develops from around the 12th weeks of the pregnancy. The placenta is developed around the 12th weeks of the pregnancy. It becomes an important structure or the important membrane. Okay, it becomes an important membrane for nourishing, protecting and supporting the baby. Okay, the placenta mainly involves and also it becomes an important one of the important layer which supplies nutrients, protection and also supporting the development of embryo. Under the normal conditions, there is no direct flow of blood from mother to the baby. Here you see this one. Under the normal conditions, there is no direct flow of blood from mother to baby. The two blood systems are separated by a thin membrane. The two blood systems are separated by a thin membrane developed by the cells. They mainly allow the exchanging of the substances by a process diffusion. Which process? Diffusion. It mainly allows the exchange of substances by diffusion of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients and waste materials. So in this way, the exchange of gases takes place. Even the embryo or the baby which is developed in the mother's womb or in the uterus, it also required the life gas, oxygen. It has to remove the carbon dioxide from its body. It has to take the nutrients and also excrete the waste materials. These all must be takes place. How these are takes place? By the process of diffusion. We understand that a thin membrane that separates the both mother and baby's systems, and it mainly allows the exchanging of substances or the gases or the materials by the diffusion process. That is exchanging of oxygen, exchanging of carbon dioxide, nutrients and excretion of the waste materials. Okay, do you understand about the placenta? Placenta is one of the important membranous structure. It develops from the cells of the both mother and the embryo. Around the 12th weeks of the pregnancy, the embryo, the placenta is developed and became an important nourishment structure. Under the normal conditions, there is no direct flow of blood between this mother and the baby. A thin membrane that separates the exchange of substances mainly by the process diffusion. Substances like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrition and excretion. Okay, so the placenta mainly provides the protection, nutrients and supporting the developing embryo. After this, another important layer is amnion. Amnion has a special characteristics. Amnion develops around the embryo by itself. Do you understand? Amnion develops itself around the embryo. Amnion contains a cavity. It has a cavity filled with fluid. It contains the empty cavity and filled with the fluid. The fluid is called amniotic fluid. What is that? Amniotic fluid. The baby develops in this fluid which protects from the minor mechanical shocks. Very important bit. What is the function of amniotic fluid? It protects the baby from the minor mechanical shocks. Okay, the amnion layer develops around the embryo itself. It protects the baby from the minor mechanical injuries or minor mechanical shocks. It contains a cavity filled with fluid. that is amniotic fluid. The baby develops in this fluid. Next one is along with this chorion, placenta, and amnion, another membrane allantois also is there. Okay, allantois also have some functions. It performs and protects the baby. Okay, along these, another one, long tube-like structure is called umbilical cord is present. Umbilical cord, a long tube-like structure called umbilical cord is present, which contains the important vessels, blood vessels of the embryo, which connects it to the placenta. Umbilical cord mainly contains the blood vessels, which connects the baby to the placenta. Okay. Yolk sac. Yolk sac encloses a fluid-filled medium. In the mammals like human beings, there is no role to play about this. Yolk. What is yolk? In the egg, the yellowish material is there. That is the yolk. It encloses fluid. There is no specific role to play in these humans. About the egg sac. Okay. So this is about different types of layers that present in the female reproductive system. Okay, these are the parts. This is the structure that takes place: chorion, placenta, amnion, allantois, umbilical cord, and yolk sac. Okay, the baby develops in the uterus. Okay, the baby develops in the uterus until it is ready to be born. Until it is ready to be born. After the 270 to 280 days, the baby is come out from the uterus or from the womb to the world. This period is called pregnancy period, gestation period. Which period? Gestation period. What is gestation period? The pregnancy an averagely lasts for 280 days. Okay, 280 days. 272 to 80 days are 9 months. After that one, the baby will come outside. This time is called pregnancy period or gestation period. Dear students, we have discussed about male reproductive system and female reproductive system and all the parts that are present in it. Your duty is you have to learn all these things. Okay, you mainly learn about the placenta. So very important 2-mark question. Write about the functions of the placenta. Placenta is one of the important membranous structure that develops around the embryo. The placenta is formed by the both cells of the baby and the mother. The remaining all are formed from one side, but this one is formed by the two parent. That means from mother and baby. Okay. Placenta becomes an important nourishing. It provides nourishment, protection, support for the development of embryo. So under the normal conditions, there is no direct flow of blood to the baby to the mother. A thin membrane is there that separates the exchanging of substances. Okay, that membrane mainly allow the substances by diffusion process. This one, all these things. Amniotic fluid. Okay, it develops around the embryo by itself. It contains a cavity. Okay, now the cavity is filled with fluid, amniotic fluid. The baby develops in this amniotic fluid and it protects from the minor shocks. Okay, these are the parts that present in the female reproductive system. Okay, thank you very much.